agenda prepared here that we can go over. Anybody has any questions on it, subtractions, additions? Otherwise, we'll look for an approval to the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We got a motion and a second for approval of the agenda as presented, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. We'll have the approval to the agenda. Approval of the minutes of the May 14th meeting.
I so move.
A motion for the minutes approved from May 14th.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Same sign opposed. Hearing none, we'll approve the minutes from the May 14th meeting. Treasurer's report for May of 2024. Kevin?
Okay, so I got it up here. We started out May 1st, 135,964. As you see, we got first half taxes are starting to go through the county and then come to us and stuff. So we have an overall budget of 675. We had 206 of it coming in there. If you look at it, we should be at 50% next month. So hopefully we have a pretty good chunk coming in there. But we had 206 that we got in income. If you look at the down through there, in the payroll, we didn't have very many expenses. The biggest expense was the yearly for the insurance. For the most part, everything is looking pretty good for the budget. We did get another bill for the new grader. So our total expenditures were only 31,000, and then so we had a net gain this month of 174, which will be good for getting ready to put a slurry seal and chip sealing bit, or the coming invoices coming in. But if you look at it and stuff in there, we're doing pretty good on the budget and stuff in there. So our ending balance was 306,881 at the end of May and stuff in there. Unless there's any other questions, there isn't very much on this one here for expenditures. This next month we'll have more with gravel and the gravel and stuff that we put down and all that other stuff. So unless there's any questions on it and stuff in there, most of it was pretty routine for this year. It was pretty wet, so we didn't do any much gravel, so far, and we just got one loan payment for the asphalt. So we're setting for road materials. We had a budget of 80 and we had 82 in there. So like I said, unless there's any questions.
Any
That's all I
questions for Kevin? If not, entertain a motion for the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
I second.
Got a motion and a second for the treasurer's report as presented. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Hearing none, we'll approve the treasurer's report. Thank you, Kevin. Old business, issues with gravel bid. Every year we get bids on our gravel with the proper consistency to it to meet the specs. Didn't prove out so well for us on gravel this year. Rich and I had a couple phone calls last week with Kevin, and we got some things turned around in the last 4 or 5 days.
So the gravel that they got put down in Sandy, we're not planning on. They inquired again, but we're not planning on paying that because it didn't meet our specs, right?
Well, the first part.
Yeah. That we laid down.
Yeah.
Okay. But they didn't give us anything else besides that. That was bad.
Yeah.
So did you get stuff from Brandon? Did they send you any information?
Same with our tests were showing. Geotech said they were close. They had to tweak some things to get it, but they still haven't got it yet.
No, but Brandon said that they weren't meeting the qualifications too, but.
The specs on the.
Yeah, I was just making sure if they did sue that we'd have as much in writing. 3 of us were on the phone and obviously he was talking many different issues,
Yeah.
but He has been emailing me back with responses, but like I said, he was on the phone. He was saying he could, and then he said he couldn't, and
So we weren't having struggles alone, like you said, Brandon was having the same struggles with getting the right.
Same with the interstate.
Yeah.
TNR is having the same problems too.
So we're getting that squared away. Have to make some adjustments along the way. Any other?
so we plan on just using LG Everest right now and not going back.
Who in here lives on a gravel road? Trick question. Trick question. All right. Second, we got slurry seal. I know many of you are here for that purpose.
Everybody.
Pardon? Rich was gone. Travis was supposed to come.
Travis is here.
Travis, okay, he snuck in on me. All right, Hidden Valley. Bulk of you representing Hidden Valley here.
That'd be, I think we got a couple who's Iverson Crossing?
Okay, we got two Iverson.
One back
Got a
there.
spokesman for each one or one at a time?
I think so. So I'm Daryl Vandrish. I'll be speaking on behalf of Hidden Valley. So kind of start out and try to lighten the mood just a hair. So I like a couple things. I like
Is it
sports.
okay if I just want to say, I just introduced myself. I'm Travis Harsman. I'm the president of ASCO. I'm here to talk, answer questions. I'm not coming to fight or be combative or anything like that. I want to come and represent and explain, answer questions or any misconceptions or anything like that, and stand behind what we're doing and make sure that we all come away from this with an understanding and feeling better about the future. All right. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So getting back to, I like sports and I also like wordplay. And sometimes I like to condense things down so it's easier than saying those people from Hidden Valley. So I thought, hey, what would be a great sports team name for the residents of Hidden Valley? And I think I've come up with the proper name. It's Cicadas. We're not very loud for about 7 years, but then every 7 years.
But you make up for it.
Right. So versus saying you can just say the cicadas want this or whatever. So anyway, trying to not belabor this very much, but obviously you can see that we're pretty concerned about what did happen there. And I think I'm going to speak a little bit on the aesthetics and maybe just some things I thought could have done better. And then Vaughn's going to speak on more of the technical aspects of what he thinks needs to be improved. But I guess the overarching question is, and I feel like I kind of pushed this along and I was a little bit naive myself, that, hey, we've been down for 8 years. It's time for some maintenance. I used the word seal coat and he said slurry seal. And honestly, I didn't really think there was a difference. I think the reading I've been about the difference is the seal coat. We have a perfectly smooth road. The cracks have been sealed before. The cracks were sealed again very well this time. And we had a smooth road and it looked good and it just needed to have a little coverage. And I think the township wanted to do the best thing for us. And it's pretty apparent that the slurry coat is supposed to last longer, but I think, it's not what any of us expected. If it was, we wouldn't be here. I think if you would have basically painted our road and we wouldn't be here. So how did the decision come to be to do the slurry versus a seal coat?
Well, slurry seal is finer rock in it, gives you a harder surface. You want to answer this, Travis? Or?
Do you
Well,
know?
I don't know. I don't think you're asking
No.
what the difference is.
No,
You're
we know
thinking
what
how
the
it.
difference is.
Why did you decide? Because everything I read says that the slurry is great for roads that are really maybe a little bit of ill repair and for high speed highways, that kind of thing. It's not good for low speed parking lots. And I didn't know this before. I'm learning that now. And of course, it's the internet, so.
Yeah.
We were in quite a bit of discussion about this there, but there's actually 3 types of slurry seal. So there's a type 1, type 2, and a type 3. The type 3 is what they use on, the highways, a little bigger rock and stuff like that. And then we used this here, the same stuff in Pine Lake Hills, was it 2 years ago? This year's slurry seal. It goes down a little bit hard, but it was like kind of the best seal for it. The type 1 is just basically a coating, like you said, like just painting on it and stuff in there. But to maintain and keep your road and keep it sealed the best, your type 2 was there. So that's what when we did this, we did a lot of research. We've been talking about doing Hidden Valley for, a couple of years. It should have been done, to make sure it's sealed that you don't get the cracks.
Sealed and armors it too, So when you blade, you don't blade it off, or you don't get the cracks. It holds it. Sioux Falls does it. Brandon does it. Canton does it. All your surrounding cities do the same stuff we're doing.
Yeah, they all do. They all bid it out as the type 2 versus type 1.
So I assume you guys have all driven on it?
Yeah.
And looked at ours?
Yeah.
Does it all look that way when it's
Yeah.
done?
When it's first
It all-
done.
it
Yeah.
does.
When it's first done.
Pine Lake
It takes
looked
about 30 days.
Pine Lake looked like that a couple
With
years
the
ago.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Vine Lake looked really
Did
rough.
they,
they had
were
some-
they dissatisfied right away?
I had to come to a meeting for that too,
You did?
yes.
Yeah.
So they were dissatisfied
Yeah,
then?
it takes about 30 days, for it to,
Okay, so Pine Lake,
You did that too?
we did, so Split Rock Heights, Mystic Meadows, Pine Lake Hills, we've done all of the resurfacing and all those. We did in Hidden Valley too before my time. Pasco paved all those roads in Hidden Valley. that you-
Not
Not all of them.
The
okay.
blacktop
I know
just
some
the
of them.
blacktop paving got that kind
Right,
of.
I know some, like I said, it was before I was here, and I knew we did some of them. But I know we did Split Rock, Mystic, and Pine Lake. After Pine Lake, there was a certain stretch of it coming in that just the way it paved and how it came down, and we had to match driveways and stuff. Some people felt like they didn't like the ride. The rest of everything else was so much smoother, they didn't like the ride. It was at the end of, 2021, maybe, I think. And we were going back and forth talking about what I could do for them. Engineer said maybe we do a sand seal. I said next year we're going to get, starting this, it was going to be our first year in microservicing, slurry seal microservicing, kind of the same thing. And I said, we'll do that for free to sort of, if that'll make you happier with the ride or whatever. We did it, and it was sort of a paver chatter thing or something that happened. And when we did the slurry seal, we took care of that, but what they didn't kind of know or see coming was just the ride with the aggregate in it just sort of felt bumpier just from the nature. That was a type 3. You guys got a type 2, which is a little bit finer rock. So that, yes, Pine Lake Hills, but the thing about this is the first purpose of it is a function. It's a function to preserve your surface longer, to add a wear course, to make the life of it last longer, to reduce expenses to the road over the course of its life. And I guess I don't know as to why and how they ended up deciding to do what versus what here ultimately in this year's things. I just know that we do seal coating, we do crack sealing, we do asphalt paving, we do slurry seal. So we'll do whatever the thing is that's out there to try to do and bid,
Does this ever harden? I guess if you turn your tires on or back out and you take off, you see divots, where tires have dug into the surface of it. And does it ever it's just like it's just not set up or
Yeah,
something?
no, there's a lot of malleability in it for a couple weeks, up to a month or so or whatever, depending, and traffic, needing, all that. It's sort of it evolves. This isn't the first time. The biggest difference here with when we're doing it in the cities is the city owns those streets. You guys own the street we're in, so you guys have a lot more feeling or say, or but this happens, they call the city and why did you do this to us? And sometimes people think they're getting a mill and overlay, and we get done doing it and they start calling the city. Why does it look like this? Why does it look like this? But the city gets to say, there are streets, you know, and we're maintaining them and we're making them last longer. The reality is here, I was in the line, I heard somebody saying our property value is down now because down farther than it was 2 weeks ago. That's the stuff that I'm not gonna hear. That's not true. That's not real.
No,
It's because this is going to change next year. It's gonna look way different. It's gonna be after the snow removal and the winter and all that. It's not gonna look the same as it does now. And I've seen this
All
on
the ruts will disappear. The ruts that are about 2 inches deep are gonna
stuff
disappear.
changes in it. Those ruts, I'm not saying that this was the A+ quality job that I wish it was. I'm gonna be honest about that. But I am telling you that, I mean, it's not a nice joke, but I was like, guys, I wish we would have done this like this in a trailer park, not this neighborhood. I mean, you know, I understand this, and I'm not as proud of it as I am as of a lot of things we've done. I mean, Hidden Valley or not Hidden Valley. No. Iverson, yes.
You're not done at Hidden Valley, though, are you?
We're not done at Hidden Valley.
Because there's still in front of my house, the car that was parked there, digging around, and there's.
I got things to, so the plan is to come back. I wanted to tell people this at this meeting because it's gonna take a little coordination, but the plan is to come back Thursday and Friday. At no expense to anybody, wherever the right of way, if you have an asphalt driveway that goes to the right of way or partly to the right of way or whatever, we're gonna cover those with seal coat emulsion so it looks black and do that. And we have some touch ups still to do on the road. We have some things to do still. I'm not telling you here that this is your finished product and we're done trying to make it better. We're gonna keep trying to get it better. But what I am telling you is the purpose of it is to extend the life of your road. And I watched, and I came to these meetings, there wasn't as many people, and I know people in the other neighborhoods, and that was a lot of pain for them to go through to replace all those roads and do all that stuff. And this will help if we maintain all these things correctly and have a plan and a budget and keep doing stuff like this. You're staving off that huge pain in the rear someday, longer, farther down the road. It's important. Asphalt is a thing that can be maintained.
So I'm gonna, just as a former business owner, I would give you a couple bits of advice. One, the communication was not top notch either. I mean, we've got 2 exits out that development. It needed a little bit more coordination than putting a note on and hoping, you know, we're gonna do this on this day, and you people can park, like cicadas, can park here, you know, and just help coordinate it, because it kind of came on us quickly and people got caught when they needed to get out. Some people came out and they shouldn't have come out. I mean, on a brand new, obviously the postman did it, but you know, other people drove on it. I mean, it needs barricades or something, not cones, or a sign that says you don't drive wet paint, something to keep them off the road, because that's part of the problem, those tracks in there. That wasn't your fault essentially, but you could have helped stop it, right? And the other thing I would say is, if you know this product looks like crap right away, probably should tell us that. You know, why would you want to sit here with a meeting now when you could say, hey, this is what it's going to look like.
Go
Some,
look at the other one a month later, and then we all drive over there and say, oh.
Yeah. So it would have saved this meeting.
I didn't come and sell this or tell anybody. There was an advertisement that we do the work and we're big. So I'm not the salesman of this.
Okay.
So, I mean, telling me I didn't tell you X.
Well,
Y,
but it's still
and
your
Z.
company, right? I mean, you don't want to be taking all this. I wouldn't want to.
No, I don't want to, but I mean, it's part of.
But you could. How do you do it better the next time? Because you know, if this product, we're just saying we didn't get what we expected, and you're saying it's a good product. Okay, we don't know for sure, because some of the stuff you're saying it's going to take a little time, right? So communication. I mean, it's like you're the one that's dealing with it. Even if somebody else has to deliver it, make them deliver it. And am I fair?
It's my understanding in talking with Ryan,
Yeah.
Ryan, that you guys were told by the township you only have 48 hours. Is that correct?
Yeah, we were supposed to do that one in 2 days, and
And that, which is kind of impossible and kind of bullshit.
It's fine. I mean, this,
It shouldn't be 48 hours. And so to me, I think that you guys should have allowed more time for them to do that, so they could do one side of the road, let that adhere maybe for at least 48 hours, and then do the other side of the road. I think,
I think if you go back to the meetings, minutes of meetings, you won't find us saying 48 hours. We're asked how long you think this will take.
yeah, I don't think, and I don't think
when
that they,
talking with Ryan,
right.
he said that you guys were giving the expectation of 48 hours.
but I also don't, I don't think they were holding us to the fire on that ultimately anyways. We could have done
All right.
something different or
See, I'm
changed
just
that.
trying to piece it all together
Yeah.
and make it make sense, because I'm with Daryl. What can we do in the future to make this better?
And Mother Nature didn't help us any on that either. I mean,
I'd like to see your ideas of what it took for communications.
Yeah,
Because we had it on the website a couple months beforehand. We talked about it at a couple meetings. So what does it take to get the word around?
Well, I mean, here's
Yeah,
the thing
what
now with
does it-
social media. We have a community page, but if somebody would have just funneled us the information, we could have got it out. But no, I mean, and so.
Because I put the street sign up to one of your neighbors, talked to them, said, hey, they're gonna be doing this because they're gonna just do the street. But for us, we tried to get it out there.
But I think
So what do we need to do to try to get it to you guys?
they were essentially it was like for a while there, I think both entrances were going to be blocked, which is kind of just a no-no. I don't think it ended up happening because of rain. Because of the rain.
The plan wasn't ever to block both entrances. That's why we were trying to get it done really quickly, fairly quickly.
But I think even the whole car parking situation and that person's not here, Elizabeth, she was told twice to park it there because they were going to go up to Deer Hollow, and then they end up going up Royal Oaks instead. And that's why her car got trapped there. It was because she asked twice, and that's where she parked.
Yeah, that was within the work, and that wasn't us. But like I said, I was just trying to figure out from the township wise, we were trying to put it out there, we weren't secretive about it, trying to get it out there that, hey, we're gonna do this in the date. So that's why I was just trying to figure out what could we do better.
Just to add context to my
do it.
experiences on these in the past, the door tagging thing is the standard practice on the city job. And then what happens, which we would never want to do in this neighborhood, but what happens is the city also has an on-call tow truck guy there all the time when we're there. And that tow truck guy just moves cars around with his tow truck out of our way all the time. And then people don't, and they're warned about that. If your car is parked on this, it could be towed and it'll be a couple blocks away or something. So, and then another thing, like, if I graded the difficulty of neighborhoods to do and stuff, that's a pretty high degree difficulty because of the access, the only two ways in and out, the curvy roads and the up and down valleys. You guys that machine is huge and long and bulky, and the box is rigid. It's not floating on what you're doing, like asphalt or anything, but those ups and downs just make it drag weird, and it's not great. It's just, I don't know. Like I said, and I don't have anything to do with coming and saying, me and Rich have talked, I was like, this is a product, this is a good alternative to chip seal. Chip seal, we used to chip seal a lot more, and you do that in neighborhoods. People don't like that either. The chips get brushed into their ditches and all that. This generally is sort of you can do chip seal, or this is a better solution, but they both are the same function and they last the same length of time. A seal coat is like a 3 to top 5 years where you got to do it again. And a seal coat is better tuned for parking lots really than streets. We do it in streets sometimes, but this is sort of the better thing for roads and streets and highways and all that.
So you've talked about, acknowledge that first and foremost, this is functional.
Yep.
Right, and how do you verify that? I mean, how, through inspections, or what type of inspections, how do you verify that the product went down in a proper manner, and that it's gonna hold up? Because just basic visual observations that we've made through the neighborhood, I mean, there's lots of thin spots where the original asphalt is showing through. except for maybe some black oil that's covering it, but there's bare spots. The equipment was clearly, something wasn't set up right or whatever, but it's inconsistent thickness. It drug, you were dragging debris. The equipment was, leaving long ruts all the way up for, 10, 20, 30, 50 yards at a shot. And while I'm not familiar with this stuff, and I don't think anybody else is either, how do we know it's going to pack in? Those ruts, I just look at it as a channel. It's going to hold water. It's going to freeze and thaw through the winter. It's going to start cracking and busting up. And if you're telling me that a groove like that's this thick is going to, fill in, I just don't see that happening. So what type of, inspections along the way did you make? And how do we, other than your word, which I'm not challenging that really, but how do we know?
Good questions. Ruts are clumps dragging in the box, and that shouldn't happen. Full disclosure, there was some laziness and lack of care from people on that crew for a couple days there that I'm not happy about. And that, this is where we get when that happens.
So that damage is done. The aesthetic damage is already incurred, but 2 years from now, or when we go through a couple years of freezing and thawing and get some weather on it and starts busting up, we got a lot of money on the table because we paid for the road and we paid into our assessments to get this paid for. So this is our cash on the table, and it's an investment. So how do we know we're going to be going through this 2 years from now?
So do you know what the intended thickness of this surface is supposed to be when it's done? Does anybody know that?
3 to 10 millimeters.
I don't know, millimeter. 3/8 to 5/8 inches. Yeah. So, that's what we're talking about. This now, those ruts, like I said, that's clump dragging, and that's not supposed to happen. But they're also, you can mistake ruts for like the streaks, people call it a lot of times. You know what I'm talking about?
Streets don't hold as much water.
Right, no, I know.
That's what
There's ruts and there's streaks. Streaks are normal, ruts shouldn't have
hold
happened.
water.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's like a striation. You can see the striation in it.
Yeah,
But
That's
caused by
the,
that machine,
caused
both
by
caused by the machine?
human error with the machine and the difficulty of the type of job, the ups and downs, sort of, kind of that, but still there's ways.
But you went out and did it. You went out and looked at the site. You knew it was difficult. So that's not our problem.
No.
That's your problem. So, someone went out and looked at it and said, oh, this is a difficult job. We gotta do this or do that. So
Can the
it's just
ruts
not a
be
good
repaired?
excuse.
Can the ruts be repaired?
I think our first attempt at that was sending the roller out there and hoping that we could roll and fix it, that's like your first try, right? Because you're just speeding up the natural traffic impact that is supposed to happen to it. Because it's not a requirement to roll it ever. That's not part of it, but that was just us trying to get that roll effect quicker and sooner and hopefully level some of that out and fix
Are you
it.
able to patch the spot where the cars parked in front of my house?
Yes, we will.
You will go that, and then the rut just continues from there. It's almost like the machine had to slow down so much to get around there, and maybe that's it.
And some of I'm being totally honest. There's nothing I'm hiding here, people, and I'm just telling you things. Like, when we're paving that road, and then I think maybe they thought they were trying to avoid mailboxes, right? So they come out, then they get back, and then all of a sudden there's that. That's not okay either. They need to go and slop some stuff on there and hand work it. The whole road should be covered more done. Like that. And I don't like having to admit that we did stuff like that. That makes me mad. And then I drive, the first thing I did, what kind of keyed me onto this, because Ryan Folsom is the vice president of maintenance at ASCO in Dakota Steel. And he does this, and we've done great now. This is our third year, and I'm proud of how we came. We've done 3.5 million square yards of this stuff now, probably. And he goes, go look at Iverson Crossing first and then come here. And Iverson Crossing is more like what you should get and what it should be like. And
Did you say you were done with Iverson Crossing? I mean, there's some, it came in circles, kind of pretty rugged, you know, there's some chunks. You know,
Circles and circles aren't,
Yeah.
circles are gonna end up being like that. There's not a perfect, there's not a silver bullet for circles.
Yeah.
A lot of time, yeah.
Even on that road though, there's, you know, there's some chunks that are still down bare, and I don't know what, if something filled up, but what we're seeing is what you described.
Yeah, I mean,
Those first couple, like an Amazon driver, if he comes.
right. The stuff that happens after we're done or shortly after we're done. If people get on it and they spin their wheels or they do something or a garbage truck comes in too soon, that stuff, that picks it up and then we try to come and fix it with that hand patching stuff and all that. And there's a fine line. Another selling point of it or a good thing about it is it can be open to traffic sooner than almost anything there is out there.
You guys were done really fast in Iverson, you did.
It went like it's supposed to
Go
there.
back for noon. I mean, it must have gone really smooth, because we were planning up like 8 o'clock at night. We were able to be on it by
Yeah,
6 o'clock.
yeah. And then I sort of beating my guys up in front of you all, but just some background on it. They do care and they do a good job, but what happens is, so this machine's only made by one manufacturer, and it's been only made by one manufacturer for 50 some years, I think, which I think is a problem, and I've learned it's a problem since we've gotten into it. It's kind of sucky, and it takes a lot of fixing all the time and mechanicking and caring and watching, whereas I feel like if other companies made it, there's the greatest engineers working on it, things would never break, there'd be competition, you know, sort of that natural stuff. And then sort of what happens if there's days where it just seems like one thing after another and one thing after another. They're humans and their morale gets a little low and they start getting combative with each other, or maybe, I hope not, but maybe some of them even act rude to some of you guys or people in your neighborhoods, which I don't condone and don't want that. But and then all of a sudden that compounds and starts making the give a damn turn off a little bit. And I'm not excusing that at all.
So I just have a question. If we know,
I think we're done with Iverson, yeah.
if you know that you're gonna go on a cul-de-sac and it's round or whatever, okay, and your machines are gonna be make this suboptimal, okay, then why would we even go with that product then? Okay, and everything, why won't you go with a different product that, you know, it's easier to handle and everything? Okay, so from an aesthetic standpoint, it looks nice or whatever, and I understand that, you know, it's not gonna last this long and everything, but all of us have a fair amount of money wrapped up in this, and to be honest with you, I think everybody in Hidden Valley should have maybe a vote on it or whatever as to, you know, what's gonna be put down, because I just don't understand why you would put something down that's gonna be on the end game.
I can tell you, I'm in Hidden Valley, I live 2 houses down from you. I have asphalt parking lots in our truck stops. The product that went down is what I would have chosen to put down. The quality of the work, there's some areas that aren't good. So that's my biggest concern is what can you do? Can you come in and after a month, can you mill those trucks down?
I don't think we would do
But
that.
I just want to tell the Hidden Valley customers, I've seen in our asphalt parking lots, when water gets in there, they bust up fast. So we can think we don't have to do anything, but you look at the cracks are growing. They did a nice job sealing this year. But they would have become a problem if we didn't do something. So I would have chosen to do this after reading what I have now. So some of you heard this, but this is my wife. Her father-in-law was construction supervisor for Olmsted County in Minnesota for 35 years. They did test patches with seal coat, and in Olmsted County, Minnesota, quit doing it because it wasn't paying. They went to slurry seal after that for asphalt protection. And so I would still choose to do that now. As I told some of you, and some of you might disagree, in front of my house, I go down a hill, I'm not worried about it smoothing out, the traffic is smoothing. You know, we're gonna drive across to get it smoothed out, but my thing I wanna ask is what can you do? And it's not even the hill area, like the bus turn around, where he lives down on the east side, there's ruts that are probably an inch. And, you know, you probably have 2.5 inches of stuff there. So this washboard and rut and then my other question is, with this, do you have to use any primer?
No.
No.
Sometimes, it's just how the job spec, there's one in Fargo bidding later this year that they're calling out to have tack shot down before. It is emulsion and sticky oil in its nature, so you don't have to, but, you know, there's all kinds of different ways and things. If we have inch ruts, then we put it on way too thick also, you know, like.
You got areas that are way too thick. And they're just rut.
And then other areas where there is none.
The ways to rectify some of these things are, you know, it's sort of like a surgery thing. How invasive do we want to get? Can we try to just fix the isolated areas by trying to put some more material in them and stuff? Do we drag over the whole neighborhood again and see how it goes? You know, that's not my favorite one, honestly, to resolve it. I don't think that's necessary because, like I've said, the purpose of it is it's a function more than it is an aesthetic. I would love that. They're down in Yankton right now doing it, and I've gotten some pictures, and it's just like, guys, where was this last week? You know, like.
So just a couple of questions, going back to the whole seal coating versus slurry, and the seal coat, maybe that's type 1, right? Okay, whatever you're calling it. So since it was going to be difficult, because the seal coat, would you still use a machine like that, or would you just spray it on or wand it?
Seal coat can be sprayed. There's a smaller squeegee machine. Sometimes you do that. On streets, you kind of do a combination of both, because the other things that happen when you're spraying stuff is speckles on people's mailboxes or out there, the wind blows all that.
But would that, in our development with all the cul-de-sacs, all the different undulations, would that not been an easier application for you that you probably would have been able to be more consistent than this happened?
Yes, but.
And at a cost, maybe half the price, maybe?
In that instant moment, yes, but over the course of time.
Yeah, but again, I'm just asking at the cost, time of application. We know it doesn't last as long.
Right.
So if it lasts half as long, you can do it again, right?
What is
Same.
the life expectancy? I've never heard that. Are you talking about this last longer? What is the?
Seal coat is like a 3-year thing, maybe up to 5 at the most, but not on the street. I would say it's more like 3. This is 7 to 8, 9 sometimes. So, and same with chip seal, 7 to 9.
If applied properly.
But again, we weren't given an option, and I think that's where there was some disconnect, and I wish going forward that we could have that option next time. I guess that should have been presented to us as such.
I tend to disagree with that comment because you guys we elect you guys to do this, and we, I
But
appreciate.
to give us the options.
But I appreciate you guys
You know.
serving as you do as a public elected official, and you're here at 8 o'clock on listening to a bunch of neighbors bitch. I'm fine with the decision. I just think it was improperly applied, and we got a problem. And what's the solution? I really don't want you seal coating every 3 years. So I'm fine with the decision. We're paying an assessment, keep supporting the money so that we crack seal, we do all the right things. We're doing the right thing. We just had a problem with the application. And I trust you guys that you don't want us here every month doing this. So you're gonna, you're his client, but you're the client to him. We're just the byproduct of it. We're the ones writing the check. I get it. So we just need to come to a solution as to what the next 2 or 3 steps are going to be. And maybe it's a baby step. You do one thing and that works. I don't know. But if we had what Iverson Crossing has, we wouldn't be here. Because I just drove it.
And I drove Pine Lake Hills too, and that looks fine. So the question I have on Pine Lake Hills is, did they not just get a new lift and then they did the second lift with the slurry, or what did they do?
We totally repaid that whole thing. That, like I said, there was a 700 or so feet, 600 feet
that certain people felt like wasn't as nice of a ride after we done paving as the rest.
So that's what you did?
So we did that, yeah.
What street was that? Do you remember?
I'd like to drive.
Pine Lake Drive, they actually put, they did put a lot of gravel and stuff in there beforehand because the road wasn't up the, it went way over the bid because we had to put so much gravel in that area also.
We had a lot of gravel to put in that, and we, you know,
And it didn't.
that was the third one for Split Rock Township I've been involved in, and I know these guys, and I've tried my best to find that balance between doing everything exactly perfectly right, more expensive, but really, and well, this, you know, this'll appease people, you know, those kind of things, those kind of decisions, and we should have, you know, Pine Lake Hills, we should have put even more gravel in than we did probably, honestly, but, you know, sometimes there's only so many dollars.
Look, ASCO's a big company, they're very reputable, they're very successful, part of a bigger company. I'm all for just figuring out the solution. I mean, let's talk about the solution, whatever it is. You're the professional. So you tell us what the solution is, and, I mean, I think that's what we need to understand here, is it's substandard, and we know that, you know it, you've admitted it. So it's not, we're not talking about, let's just move forward. Let's figure it out.
I mean, it is not unacceptable. It's acceptable and passable. And it's okay, and it is what it's supposed to be. But it just should have looked better. There was shortcuts and things that I'm not happy about that shouldn't be taken.
But you're saying that's acceptable.
I'm just saying the purpose of what we've done is being served. It's protecting and preserving and extending the life of the pavement.
I would ask the township, do you feel it's acceptable? I mean, what was your acceptance criteria for this work? I appreciate your honesty and willingness to try to make this better. But at the end of the day, you know, what criteria did you establish to know that, yeah, the job's good enough? And that you're gonna sign off on it? Or have you already reached that, you know, decision?
I'll tell you, this is a learning experience for us too. We haven't had to do seal coat in any blacktop areas we had till now. So we're learning from this too. Communication was bad, I understand that. But we did put it on the website that what we're planning on doing.
Sure.
But it's kind of the same thing. You gotta watch, we gotta communicate. It'd be nice to have a contact person in each development, but then if you don't have communication and development, then you don't hit everybody either.
I think most people in our development are on the Facebook group, not quite everyone.
I heard about the Facebook group after it was too late. And I didn't hear great things about the Facebook group.
So, I mean, just because they're not happy, just like,
Yeah.
the same reason we're here,
I
right?
understand. And you know, that's why I wanted to come to this, and I figured there'd be a lot of people here, and I wanted to just talk about it.
So
Is there a concern when the snowplows come through, as it is right now? Is there a concern?
Is any of that gonna come up, you know, or whatever,
So
you know, end up in there?
that is sort of indirectly, that's part of the process, because that happens, and it's gonna come out of next winter looking different than it does now. And different how? It's gonna look more pink, because that's what the rock is under there. It's gonna scrape off that top surface of oil, because that's what's gonna happen. That's what the purpose of it is to protect and add a wear surface to your asphalt, seal cracks, seal things up. And what's a wear surface gonna do? It's gonna take that impact from that snow abuse, the snow equipment. So I'm telling you, it's gonna look different next year. And I can tell you all kinds of neighborhoods in Sioux Falls and everywhere that you can go and look at too, that you wouldn't know driving all over Sioux Falls that it's been slurry sealed. And I do, I can see it, but you guys can't. But you'll understand more now that it's in your neighborhood.
So after the first winter, what would you anticipate the wear, what thickness of this?
Minimal, but it's sort of some of those imperfections or those ridges will get ground out, because a blade or whatever is a strike off, right? And it's putting down pressure on, and it's gonna push through that stuff.
Even if it's 20 below or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
When it's that cold.
Yep. And then, you know, repeatedly. didn't snow that much this year, but the winter before
Right.
was a brutal amount of snow, you know, so. And
What
that's,
about the divots that are there now, when the plow hits some of them spots where they ran out and then they put more slurry coat in, so there's an uneven spot. That plow's gonna hit that and I would assume do damage
damage to
to
what?
to the road.
No, I mean, it's
It'll
kind
cut
of,
at an angle, because most blades are turned anyway, so it's gonna be at an angle instead of straight across. But
There's
when
some
you see the,
none of this stuff,
Imperfection.
none of the stuff will happen. It's gonna be so adhered to the road after this summer of heat and all that weather, driving impact. None of it's gonna like, if you're thinking somehow a blade could just like flake a big continuous section up or something. No, that doesn't happen. Same way it doesn't happen with just on a regular asphalt road, you know?
I have a question on, so the original road had nice edges to it. And now all along my road, it's just seeping into my lawn. Like there's not a nice edge anymore. So like, is there a way?
That's some more of the stuff that they need to
get the edge?
Get that stuff off of there more. They need to spend.
So
more
your,
time getting that stuff off.
And now on my
employees
side.
came by, I went out in my mower the next day, and they sent them out there, and they cleaned up that whole
Yeah, you
edge.
just probably haven't.
They
taken
got
your
to
spot.
my yard.
Okay.
right off
We need to do more of that.
So the edging, you'll fix the edging.
And the grass will fix itself too. It's black now, mow it a few times or whatever, the black goes away, you know, but that.
Well, I mean, there's like a layer there.
Yeah, the layer of crust that flowed over, that, they have to get that off. And they just probably haven't gotten it.
And the big grooves, how are you gonna fix the big grooves, long grooves, how are those?
I'm going to look more at them and think about it. I don't have the right
Once you see
answer here more right now.
But it makes sense, like after a year and it's completely leveled out, you still got divots to go over with like a type 1 seal, try and fill in like divots.
Maybe, I mean, I'm not ruling anything out, but I'm telling you that it is acceptable. I'm standing behind, I'm not trying to run away or anything. I want, you know, so.
What year did you start at ASCO?
I've been here since 2019.
So the first three phases of development happened in 2016, done by Blacktop Paving. That is all of Old Wagon Road and the western portion of Saddle Creek Court, Deer Hollow Road, and then out the edge of Hidden Valley. For the most part, that has been pristine. The crown has been perfect. And then ASCO came in and did the rest, and you'll see the rolling with the water standing from day one. So it already, in my mind, you already got a black eye there because there was a lot, and there was a spot standing water down the dip there, and they had to do something with that already, cut that out, crack off the side.
So what year was it that ASCO was there?
17 and 18. So it's actually newer.
Sure.
And but anyway, what I'm pointing is our crown is perfect, so the water shed immaculately. And if that doesn't happen now, it's going to be problems because we had a road that did that, and maybe now we don't have that, and that's not going to be healthy for the road.
Maybe you don't have that. Why?
Because it's 2 inches thick in spots and not at all in others.
It's overlapped in the center.
So the center is higher than.
Yes, sir.
You can see water standing. You can see water standing the other night, the day when it rained. But it was in the fissures or whatever. I'm not saying that that's not going to get rolled out, okay? But I'm saying like a year from now, if there's spots that weren't there before, you know, that's the object was to protect the road. And does the possibility exist that this has the opposite effect?
I mean, no, it shouldn't. And I mean, it, you know, like I said, we're putting 3/8 to 5/8 on whatever existed before, right? And then sometimes if there's a pothole or something that existed before, it's gonna fill that more. But it's a 10 to 12 foot straight edge that it's just straight. That's all it does. You can tweak a little or whatever, but it's putting 3/8 to 5/8 down on whatever existed before. It's not designed or intended to drastically change anything like a crown or the way the water sheds naturally of what existed before. It's like Seal coat's like painting. This is like pretending you're painting with rock in the paint. You're trying to just thicken the surface up. So.
Rich, so as you guys started meeting with some gravel lead spec, the contract you guys have between ESCO and the township, do you have any spec in the contract, or is it just slurry coat level 2?
We run the same specs what the city of Sioux Falls does.
So you got some, you got spec.
It's type of emulsion and spread rate, which is a range 19 to 22 pounds per square yard.
Okay, so you guys, either of you know, can geotech test that when it's laid?
Maybe, but we can also provide the machines. The machine has a print off every day of whatever was done that day, and it gives the average spread rate.
But, okay, so from just a product standpoint, we've got some areas that are 2 inches thick, let's say. Can they come core sample that 2 inches and determine whether it needs spec?
If it's 2 inches thick, it's 50 pounds per square yard, and it shouldn't be, you know. I mean,
Well, we have, okay,
yeah.
so I just want, that's a question that's been asked. I just want to see if.
Thicker means the spread rate was exceeded.
All right, so we have
Isn't good for us, because that just is costing more. Yeah, wasting.
Okay, so you have a spec, we could look at the spec, you got samples you pulled, and we could validate them, and we could try to pull core from stuff that's on the road and have a geotech test, see if it meets emulsion specs maybe, right?
Right, we can give Bill Lading on that the emulsion's the right spec. We can do all kinds of stuff.
Okay, so the stuff that's thick, that's 2 inches thick, let's say, or 1.5 inches thick, on a hot day, can you roll it and it'll take care of some of the rutting that's going on, or washboarding that's going on?
Maybe you can try. I mean,
how long do we have before it'll be set and we can't? I mean,
are these like, because we could probably, I mean, not that I'm going to send them there for a month-long walking the whole thing, but if some of these are egregious and isolated, and we could take an infrared heater and just heat it back up and then hand work it and strike those ridges back out too.
and if you could do that, I think you got some areas where as Vaughn said, you got 50 yards where it's grooved probably 6 inches.
Sure.
It looks like something. So obviously the striation, that's just aggregate that's been pulled from the spreader. That's fine. That's
The
gonna work
cul-de-sacs
in.
look pretty inconsistent.
Right.
So they're not probably,
I'll say another thing about the cul-de-sacs is what we've talked to about the city is it's like, because and you know, even just asphalt paving, a cul-de-sac is the hardest thing to pave asphalt paving wise. Not that it can't be done, same thing with this. It's just, but we've said to the city, why don't we just seal coat all the cul-de-sacs instead, so you guys don't have to, because the city I don't get this communication with all these neighborhoods we do for the city does it all and deals with it all. So, you know, but I hear it, I know it. One person put it on the news once. But we've said that and they're like, well, if we do that, then the other person's gonna say, well, we only got seal coat and they got that, you know, like, so it's just one of those things where you just generally do everything the same and treat everything the same, like, is what the answer the city would give us on stuff like that. Cause I'm
I
like,
can tell on your cul-de-sacs where it looks like you just take straight line down to the end and fill in
Yep.
the half moon, so
Yeah.
to speak, right?
it's a huge, bulky, stupid machine and it's a circle. It's just,
Okay,
yeah,
so you have some fixes you can do as far as heat it up again.
yeah,
So I think some of the areas you can resolve that way.
yeah. I'm in no way walking away with this is what you get, guys.
All right, so
We're
then
gonna
the
keep
stuff
going.
that's in the grass, so
That stuff's gotta get out of there.
you guys are going around to each homeowner, we need to keep a list of the homeowners that have issues and we need to present that to the township or to you.
I mean, I'm okay with the idea of funneling everybody's, like, I need this in mine, I need this in mine somehow, you know, in a communicated way, so we sort of generate a punch list. And then we can punch it out, right? I'm okay with that if we can come up with a good organized way of that.
Okay.
But
Next.
keep people in
Reasonable.
bounds too, you know, like,
Reasonable.
yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna be in the neighborhood Thursday and Friday.
That's what the plan is right now.
Right, so how are we gonna communicate on who needs to stay off or whatever you're on, how are you gonna barricade it, how are you gonna do something?
And then when we seal, when we seal coat
Saturday.
those ends of everybody's driveways, you know, make sure people just don't drive over that until the next day or whatever.
When you seal coat, is that 24 or 48 hours?
24.
24 hours,
Yeah.
so we need to make sure that
At
everybody's
least,
aware of
yeah,
that.
24.
when you seal coat.
the apron.
So I'm assuming it,
So
Are you automatically doing everybody?
I'm sort of offering that as goodwill, kind of. It's been something we've talked about, like, because I think maybe people have thought, or the board has thought maybe, like when we paved it, we paved from the right of way out on everybody that had an asphalt driveway knows that we maybe talked it, but you guys all know what that machine would do if you try to back that stinking thing in every one of your guys' 7 foot.
No, we don't
Yeah.
expect that.
well, yeah, so I mean, the issue, at least on our phases, we paid for an 8-foot apron, just because that covered almost everybody, and the ones that had completely asphalt driveways. So I mean, the worst thing that can happen is that we get 2 more feet done. Are you going to approach every homeowner about what the balance they, at least so they can do their whole apron, so you don't look like, it looks terrible.
Like if somebody has more asphalt.
I mean, I'm just talking like, I've got a 8.5-foot apron. If you do 2 feet of it, forget it. I mean, thanks, but no thanks. I mean, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you got like 8.5 and then it changes to concrete and we only did 6 of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it
Yeah.
kind of look like it looks now, which is unfinished. So, I mean, what's the offer?
I mean, we'll do, you know, if you're wanting the black, like everything else is black, just so it matches and looks a little more pleasant, we'll just do those.
And just do a seal coat?
Seal coat, yeah, seal coat.
All the aprons, basically.
Yeah, but that has to be communicated and, you know, don't drive on it.
And how long do you not?
24.
24.
And that's what you're planning on doing Thursday, Friday, or is that later down the road?
I mean, if we think we can be organized to have that happen, we could, but more of my intent Thursday and Friday was to keep working on the road and get the stuff out of the grass. But I wanted to start the seal coat conversation today.
So I don't live in Mel at all. I'm just listening here. And so the bigger thing I hear, now, there's lots of things that need to be done, but the communication, going back to the communication. And what I still hear is that people are confused about what's gonna happen and when things are gonna happen and how do you get concerns back. You were talking about having a Facebook group, or if that's the way to do it or not, or I think it's gonna be hard either way for everybody to know what's going on, because I hear different concerns, rightly so. But I think to get things completed and people feeling good about it, the bigger thing now is figuring out with you, and whether it be you as a spokesperson of the area or whomever, how you get to communicate what's gonna happen, even Thursday.
Well, I think Daryl does a great job of communicating for us.
Price is right.
That's a big job.
I got 4 states for getting a development pay. That was
Figuring out how to do that. That's what I hear.
Well, the township, if you could communicate with the township and you guys email us, we used to get emails through the township, but I had stopped getting those for some reason, so maybe I need to sign up or something.
I have 132 people on the
Okay.
email list. If
Okay,
you're
I got
not
it.
getting
I was
emails,
just gonna say.
go right to the website and submit it, and we'll add you to the list.
You have to go to the website and submit it? Okay.
Does everybody know the website address? Does everybody?
No,
look at the
and so
website?
you guys refer to the website? I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
www.slickrocktownship.com.
Okay.
It's a great
And
place to
again,
get information.
and it is, and I thank you.
Yeah.
So you should actually like go there for other too, is because we put that speed sign on there, and it does put the report, it doesn't put we put a report out there of what the traffic is, because we put the speed sign on, now everybody's speeding faster here. Now we have the sign just to see the numbers, I think. But you understand, we do post that also, so.
Okay.
So,
If that ever, just because you're bringing that up and it's been on my mind, can that ever be moved to the other side?
yeah, you just give up me right afterwards, and I was thinking about moving it, I've had it there for a while.
Okay, are you getting?
We've been talking about if we wanted, with this group here, after waiting it's done, do you really want the sign there, or do you want me to contact the police to sit there a little bit, or are you just okay with just the sign that, you know?
People go by our place.
Yeah,
560.
Then we put the sign
Oh,
up, speeds
it's not-
have gone down.
But it's not on our side.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, where that sign is, the statistics show from the first week to the second week, speeds have been reduced. Now, that doesn't mean that's permanent. Cause you have a few people that seem to think that that's put it down and go. But we can watch any
We
speed.
used to have a sign.
We know what time they went, so.
And you pick up everybody that's walking past them.
Well,
I do.
Now, getting the sheriff's office to come out there is a different story.
And then.
All right, we're gonna have to keep moving forward. It's gonna get dark and the longest light day of the year is really approaching. And, no, we've listened as the board too. We're not faulting any boards before us. We're listening for our future purposes. I appreciate Travis feeling all your concerns. I know he's not turning his back on you. It is a natural product like anything in life. Please do the website with Virgil and if Gerald can maybe condense some of that for us. You'll try.
It's gonna be hard to do with some people on vacation, gone and stuff.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get
I
everybody.
think we have 62 residents or something.
Yeah.
And the more humorous part, I like a little humor, a little tense, but when we redid the Pine Lake Hills one and smoothed it out because they didn't like it, now we put speed bumps in it last week.
I heard about that.
So, I'm glad you all got a truck.
Well, I think we're gonna bust out of here if that's okay, but anybody
That's
have any
fine.
questions before we depart and leave them with the
I
tumbleweeds?
just want a nice solution.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, function and aesthetics, I mean, both of those matter.
Yep.
Yeah, if you tell me that curb appeal doesn't matter, you're a liar, and I say curb appeal is also the road you drive up on.
Yep, I agree.
Gerald, did you ever have a pizza that you didn't like?
I don't think I did, but I heard a lot about those too, so.
Email.
Give them something
the
free.
site there Where you want the sign, and then I'll look at it, cause I like how it likes to chain it down. So you have what's that? 1303? Okay, so.
North end of my property, there's a big tree right
Yeah. 1303.
I want to also say, guys, thanks to him for man enough coming in and
Yeah.
taking the heat.
Thanks for everybody's time.
All right.
Thank you for whatever, for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. When I put it, that one out there, don't move it. No, but I like to keep it and let the other one.
We're gonna have to discuss,
Look at the data and then we'll just,
we're gonna have to discuss 266 streets.
Yeah, cause like I said, we put them out there to try to slow the speed and then it actually works. But then some after there a while, they pick up this, this speed or whatever. But what I'll say is that, I don't necessarily wanna have a police go out there either, because your neighbors are, the people in the township.
They can back right up my driveway if they want to.
Hey, Kevin?
Yeah, but we don't, yeah.
I just want to on to the next second.
I appreciate you guys very much. Oh, yes. They do have a lot of work to go.
Thank you.
Kevin, did you ask for the discussion on 266? On that agenda?
Yes, yes, I did.
What do you got?
Okay. So, and this Iverson Crossing, where's this Iverson Crossing deal here? So, the 266 was a section line road.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, they changed it to kind of Iverson Crossing Road and stuff like that. And then they paved it.
Half.
Huh?
Half of it?
Half of it.
Yep.
This is my argument that they should be
Thanks,
switched
guys.
to not a section
Thank you,
lane.
Mike.
Thanks for your service.
We tried.
I know what it's like. My wife has to sit there and do it too, and it's just not fair to you
Well,
guys,
then
so.
it puts you in a higher income bracket.
So there was some complaints made at Iverson's. Iverson's why we didn't do 266 there and stuff in there. I do think in the long range that we need to get those to, or switch that to, you know, not a section line road and stuff and try to find footage for that. Otherwise, like I said, they did it without our permission. They did the road and stuff. It's never gonna go through. It's never gonna really be a road that goes through. So I think we're in discussions that we need to,
How many houses are on there too?
because we should be slurry sealing. They put that in there, but we should be slurry sealing that, you know, too. That we didn't because it's considered a section line. We didn't approve it.
They did it without coming to the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So chances are we're gonna have to go either mail a letter or go knock on the door. Don't you think?
What's that for?
Well, before we go ahead, because we can't, we're not tribally assessing that.
Yeah. I think what we need to do is look at it for the meeting or whatever, you know, by the annual meeting.
Change decisions and change decisions.
I don't think we want to try to do any slurry sealing or anything on a 266, but it's kind of like what I said on some of these for the long range, like, it's hard, you know, right now we have it out there, but on the long range, when they do some of that stuff, you know, they change the roads and they put a development in there, we should be looking at, hey, that should not be a section line road. And, you know, put that so we can do.
In the township, on the board here, change the
Yeah.
road.
Well, I'd have to ask if, I have to ask Lisa for sure on that. I think they can, but it's usually designated in the annual meeting, so we might not, we might be able to put it there, but it has to be designated probably in March meeting.
This, he hasn't been there to do it yet.
But it's kind of the same way that we have for, you know, we got 266, we have Powderhouse Road that's over there, you know, it used to be the section line road over there. They changed all that, you understand that it's always gonna be our road and, you know, stuff in there. That
I saw a picture where it's a big.
I do think that some of those, we need to switch, get them off of the section line so we can do such success on it. Not necessarily we have to, but, that type of deal.
You know how our hands are tied right now, even with the assessment.
I know, and so, but like you said, if we wanted to do, if all of a sudden they say Iverson's, they're gonna do 266, we would have to try to get the people to pay for the slurry seal, get them to agree. This is new. Get them to agree.
Oh, it's been a while.
I didn't recognize you. So I really do think that we need to really get sit down and talk about those. Rivers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
There was some point.
I just think,
Why are we
yeah.
doing 266?
I'm too
The one come on. She's gone now. So, I mean,
Yes.
you don't have the capability to get some blacktop to go in there. You would before.
This looks like the.
What's that?
No, it's north of.
Oh, man.
Or no, west, east of here.
You better take care of
it. And that's partly, and I have it listed on mine, that it's part there, but we need to kind of try that for the long range, we need to try to clean those up. So that's what I wanted to get.
All right. Give us a thought, I'll email Lisa on that, but I'm you on that, we probably can't change it so much, but I think maybe we can get it all. But as long as you're agreeing that, hey, it shouldn't be, once they change, you understand?
And you have to treat everybody the same way.
Yeah.
We gotta be responsible financially to the township.
Well, yeah, especially in the long run, because the same way we did over there on 33rd, they did that circle, they paved it. So once we found out they paved it, like a year later, we said, okay, we're gonna switch that development and put it in front of
Yeah,
the
could be a
assessment.
good place to have it.
And we did that, and so then we have 33rd, we have some that are gravel.
Oh, Hamlin, you mean?
Yeah, oh, Hamlin. Yeah, so I think we need to do the same thing.
All right. Number 4, discussion speed bumps on Pine Lake Hills.
That's being taken care of.
Yeah, it's taken
Your
care of.
website's on our door, that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Birch, you do a good
We
job
tried,
with
we
the
tried to put
website.
it out there. We tried to put it out
We've had
there.
one for 8 years.
I know.
We went down it the other day. Oh, yeah, they gotta slow down real good on those speed bumps.
There's 3 of them on that stretch. Late.
They gotta slow down.
Did we buy them and they, or did they buy them from us? Or-
No, we bought them and I'm just gonna charge them back and it's hold them and stuff in there, but,
Okay.
the way, are they happy with them or no? 'Cause
They're not here.
so nobody,
No, they're not here.
So they belong to the township right now.
yeah, and that's what we plan on, just, some of them that were bought before,
Yeah.
and we had to buy some more because they wanted more out
Yeah.
there. So, I don't know when you bought those, you remember when, what you buy those first ones for, you know, anybody know?
Information like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, and so did they come out as what, like, I don't know, you know, so, but I'm still saying, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, as long as we take them out of, Pine Lake Hills was okay when I talked to them, they says, yeah, take them, we'll pay for them. So I'm taking it that they want them out of theirs, but I'm still saying that they're our property. They can ask for us to put them there, and we will.
Just rent them to.
Yeah. We talked about that. I talked about, me and Rich said that you got an accountant that's just really real in here today, but.
You gotta take them out and fill the holes in the fall.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that if we rent them, you know, how to do a rental, what, you know, how much we charge for rental and stuff like that, but I agree with you. We talked about that. Do we rent, do we buy them, rent them to them? Do we?
I would, because you're gonna have labor every spring and fall too, to charge them for. In a sense, it's
Yeah,
not
we talked-
kind of like a house. The permanent things go with the house.
Yeah.
If that's not permanent, it don't go with the house.
When we kind of talk about the developments, though, we already talk about that they're paying taxes besides the front foot. Front foot. We charge some of the stuff to the front foot, but like snow removal and some of that stuff. So the charging the labor is kind of one of those, when they're doing the legislation wise, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, but yeah. Okay, yeah, like I said,
Well, our father did a lot of stuff after they closed the doors.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll be moving that here and then.
It wasn't our generation that made us this way, it was
Okay,
the one
yep.
before.
Thank you.
Anyway.
You wanna get going, Travis? Thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
Is there any more to, I mean,
I think we just gotta give it time.
yeah, I don't know,
It looks great, Pine Lake Hills.
on the job or tonight?
Both.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe tonight, I don't see the other one, so.
Thank you for being here and stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much.
This is what I'll say is I drove I went out there and then I looked at the cul-de-sacs, you know, when they first did it, and I was like, holy smokes, they're not gonna like this. But the next day or two, they really.
Yeah, it keeps changing a lot, and
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, it's polarizing right now, you know, when it's brand new and maybe some people thought it was gonna be a seal coat, and maybe some people, I heard some stuff on that.
Overlay.
I heard some stuff on that Facebook thing that people thought it, sending pictures that looked like this, and it was a mill and overlay job, you know? I don't know, time just from people getting used to it or things changing is gonna be a big difference, and then like I said, I drive all over everywhere all the time, and I know that stuff, this has been slurry sealed recently, and it doesn't, you know, it's gonna look different next year and the year after, and people will forget that they were mad or whatever, you know. I'm not saying that it's the best job we've ever done. I wish it was the best job we've ever done, but.
You stated that. You couldn't have been more straightforward to anybody.
Yeah.
What you said.
I guess another thing, I know that Trace told me that you guys would have it, I don't know, if you guys want to, not that I want it to go on forever, but just to make everybody feel like you're doing something whenever you can retain a balance from it or something, until I say I've done enough of the things I want to do to make it right,
Hold some back.
right? I mean, show them that you're putting
Yeah.
some teeth in me or whatever.
Okay.
Not that I want to give up money, but I think that shows something, I don't think anybody was too hard on you guys tonight, but there's some people I know in that neighborhood and I thought that they were maybe gonna come after you guys a little hard over it all too, so. You guys aren't doing anything wrong. The guy that was sitting here said it right, that you guys are the ones that are volunteering your time and elected to do this, and you're protecting those roads and protecting against the big expenses that we saw in some of the other ones that we've done, so.
Well, it was, this year, like I said, this year, they're doing the type 2 was, to me, is the way to do it. But when they had to get pave it, where they had to pay, $5,000 or $6,000 in to get it paved.
Right.
Oh, my golly, them, like I said, they had all these different opinions and it took a couple of years. And so I don't want to go through that again. I'd rather throw this paint of this slurry seal and.
I talked to Wes, the city engineer. He told me that to mill and overlay is $25,000 a block. To slurry seal like we did is $5,000.
Right. Yeah, we gave you a dang good number.
Yeah.
So.
It'll work out.
Yep, I mean, yeah, it'll be all right, I think. Yeah, it's neat, yep. And some, being upset and joining up and being upset is more fun than it is to all get together and say what a good job it was.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Everyone likes a good controversy.
Well, thank you again.
Yep. All right, yep, thanks, guys.
We were just discussing the speed bumps in the last part of the old business.
Yeah. We're okay on that then.
The new business, or
Yeah, and that new business,
We're not doing any more for like as far as we know, they're happy. We're not doing any more speed bumps, right? Okay.
right, okay.
haven't heard the word, and Rich said they're not here tonight.
Yeah.
The only reason I put that under new business, because in the news the other day, the city of Sioux Falls is gonna change their, starting July 1st, their legal notices. Maybe you heard that on the news. And I don't think we have to do anything. I'll talk to Lisa about it, but they're going to, what is it called, Dakota Sport?
Dakota Scout.
Dakota Scout, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And
It's
then,
Scout Scout, yeah.
yeah, I mean, we vote on that legal newspaper every annual meeting. So unless we need to put a bid in, then I guess we'll take it up at that time.
So we talked about that today. Today I was at the meeting for South Dakota State Association in Township. And then I went to the bond, I'm on the bond board, but I went to the bond board and I stayed for there and we talked about it. So they are saying that Dakota Scout is gonna be more the legal newspaper.
Well, I think that we would want to change to that too, just because that's where the bidders are gonna look,
Cause they talked about it quite a bit, that, Gannett bought out, Argus Leader, then I know Gannett was bought out again and stuff like that and stuff, and they've been more,
Right.
It's 3-day old news.
more,
It's 3-day old news.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not doing as local as what they.
And I kind of have a problem even with putting bid notices in. I know you have to do it by law, but I don't know that people go there and look for stuff. I mean, that's why I like to know who to send it to, like our bids.
But if you put it in the legal, like used to go to Scout, they actually put it in there's a website in here that picks all those
That
up and
takes all of them,
has
okay.
them all
So
in there.
that's more exposure than
There's
just.
more exposure than just the.
Right.
So the paper like, or Argus Leader sends it to Pierre, and I can't remember the website, I can look it up, but,
Well, there is a South Dakota Newspaper Association, so maybe they take that on, I don't know.
And that's what they had talked about, that when Dakota Scout first did it, they were pretty good, and then they had to call Argus Leader
that some of their stuff wasn't in there and stuff in there, so there were some learning curves on it.
Right,
And especially the small town papers like, say Howard Pioneer or Webster.
Brandon
Yeah.
Sherman.
Yeah, and some of those, some of them are better than the others, but the
Right.
small town ones, to get them, to make sure that it gets in that state website,
Right,
is what the discussion was today. So,
so I just put that on there for a FYI. Because I don't think we have
but
to-
I do think we should switch to go to, after
Yeah.
this conversation.
And I don't know if we can do that at a regular meeting, that we could designate that, or Lisa would know whether we have to wait till next March 1st. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not gonna have very much stuff we're
No,
gonna
we won't have
advertise
very
right now.
much, no.
Yeah, so, but we could try Dakota Scout just to see what they would, advertise with them, with the Argus.
Cost,
and
and they said it's cheaper too than the Argus, so
Okay.
that's a benefit.
People know that that's what it is.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that there was one until RJ just
Oh.
told me.
you didn't know what was?
That there was a Dakota Scout.
Oh, yeah, it's new, I guess, or it's been around a little while, but
They said today that they thought it was a couple of people from that used to work at the Argus that
Yeah.
kind of started it.
Joe
up, so
Sneevy's one of them.
to get local news going. Yeah.
So,
Move on to elected official updates. I've had a few calls on some shrubs and trees around the Rowena area. Nothing too serious, the guys can handle in an hour. Or
what did you say?
a couple trees hanging over the roadway
Okay.
in the ditches.
By Rowena?
Yeah, in the Rowena area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we should contact the state and see if they do the highway. They're the ones that
Oh, okay. Yeah, these weren't on the highway, but yeah, okay. Yeah. And then Julie did call me, or text me. I know Rich spoke with you.
No, not her, I spoke with,
Oh, you spoke with Gary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anyway,
I heard from him.
Oh,
we'll come back to that. More updates. Marv, you got anything?
One thing I said on that communications for the flurry, I think the lawyer was supposed to send out letters to them residents. I think we decided that one meeting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened or not.
Yeah, I don't know how
I
we
don't-
ever left it.
I don't think that did.
Yeah. I think
Their
that's where-
door hanged and that was about it.
Yeah,
Right.
well, we talked about sending a letter to those people.
Maybe we can look back in the.
Well, we talked about it. I don't know if we did settle on it
Yeah,
because we
we-
talked about it because the problem is that just what they're saying is that between the road and their driveway, it's a different color right now because some of them, the pavement goes up, but I don't know.
I think that's where our communications were
Yeah, we should have probably sent them one.
not done correctly. That's the only thing I got.
Take note, we'll just straighten it out next year.
Sure.
But I do still have a problem with that because we did talk with Daryl. I did talk to it when I was there, putting the deals, I talked to him and says, hey, we're doing that, look at the website. But it doesn't get into their Facebook
Right.
system, so it was actually, some of the complaints is after the fact. But like I said, I was there, I talked to about 8 people and said, hey, look, hey, we are doing it.
Well, Virgil even had a separate section on the
Yeah.
website for it, so,
Mm-hmm. But, okay, like I said, you can always do better, but.
yeah.
Anything else, Rich?
Yeah, they're gonna do dust controls starting, supposed to be coming to town on the 24th. They wanna start putting dust control down at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But it's probably, so I think it's probably gonna start the 25th. They'll have 2 trucks this year putting it down, so it should go fast.
Yeah.
So we got extra help coming in too, so. John, Boyd, Dan's coming back, to run the flusher, and Roger's running the roller.
So that's Monday, the 24th.
Yeah. And then we also have Roger out mowing one strip around the edge of the grass on the roads. Just to get it down sight. So. That's all I got.
You have put a plan together of which roads we're not doing. Dust control.
Well, we probably should, but we'll just do them all if it's wet.
Well, RJ don't want.
No, I don't. We know he's not.
Yeah, I was just say, I don't want them, I just.
Then they didn't do yours last year.
But I would say just put a speed bump on that one.
But there's more. So they never do from the intersection of 482 and 267, that quarter mile going south to Ralph and Sherry or Chip and Sherry Souls. We don't want them to do that, but I'd also not like them to do that first mile from 481 to 482 on 267. Let's not have them do dust control. Let's see how we like that.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm an experiment.
Yeah, that's fine.
We wanna,
We probably won't get very many calls, but
no, I don't think you will.
okay, that'd be great.
What if we do extra gravel there? Do we just charge it to them or? Because the dust can do it or dust control.
No, that's pretty good road.
RJ, if I put that in the minutes, is it 1 mile on 267 that you requested?
Yeah,
Okay.
to not do dust control.
To do not,
From
okay.
481 to 482nd.
481,
To 482nd
okay,
on 267th Street, no dust control.
okay, got it.
You
And
should
then
put,
But from yours to past Bucky, you want that, right?
Yeah, you better do that.
Yeah.
'Cause the rest of my neighborhood, yeah, make sure you start from, then start dust.
Your corner
At my corner,
and go east.
going east.
but I would put that on the website too, that they request that they
We have
didn't
to
do
do
it.
that mile from Jacobson, do you think we can skip?
Well,
This is a greater I've thought about that. I haven't talked to Jacobson's, but,
Yeah, you might be able to buy that one too.
let's talk about your gravel for a minute. You just had, was challenges getting the right spec on the gravel, is that correct?
Yeah.
And then where I wanna go with that, so too much sand, not enough clay in the gravel?
Too much sand. Yeah.
Sand.
So then
And too big a rock.
you have more trouble with dust control. That's two different separate issues, but it could be, but if you talk to Jacobson's, and I haven't said anything to them, but it could be that they would opt out on that mile, but you really should talk to Spencer and Tanya and Kathy and Todd. Cause they might, see what they think. You just don't know. Tanya might say, oh, we need dust, you just don't know. So I would encourage you to visit with them.
Okay.
And I'm gonna further that just a little further. That gentleman that was here a month ago talking about the spec on the gravel, I've kind of noticed that, or I used to think it was the dust control, but you guys are doing good. You're on it, and watch your spec, because I think he was talking here, the gentleman was in here a month ago, kind of questioning how good the gravel was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I got one other thing. So up to the number 3, what are we discussing on 266th Street, or aren't we?
Oh,
Iverson Crossing Road, it's a section line,
But they
but
paved
they
some,
paved it.
they paved some of it, so that what I'm saying is that from the end of 267 where they put the new house in there and stuff, and there really shouldn't be a section line anymore. The 266, because that's more of a development. It changes from 266 to Iverson Crossing Road, I think it is. In there.
They did not do that through the township board.
right.
They didn't do it through the township board, and also they were wondering why we didn't chip seal that in ENC, so that's a whole different issue.
Okay, no,
So, but I will say is that we need to,
We'll bring it up at the next annual meeting about if we can change it to an assessed road and not have it a section line road anymore.
There's actually about 3 places like that in the
Yeah.
township.
We'll have Lisa look into
I see
that.
what you're talking about.
yeah,
I
because
just didn't know
especially if they
what-
pave it like that, pave it like that, should we tear it back up? Otherwise, we missed at that too, so,
Right.
I don't have anything now.
Julie?
I just was curious as to what kind of the rules of the road of a maintenance or a,
Minimum maintenance.
yeah, it's accepted but no minimum maintenance.
Yeah.
Again, Todd, as I shared with you, there was, Mr. Bills took a number of trees, branches down and lined them up around the side of the cul-de-sac, which didn't get in anybody's way. I thought maybe he was gonna get his pickup, put it all there and haul it off.
Right.
But no, he went in the middle of the cul-de-sac and started a bonfire. And unfortunately, there were during that morning, there were two different lawn services. One of them came through before he started the fire and got around. The second one had to go around the fire. And there's, in that neighborhood now, we have some little kids. And so it's like, golly, I just hate having, either warm embers or anything like that out there too. And he has a burn pit, just like the rest of us do, to burn branches, or if there's a lot, we haul it out when we need to. So I just, it happened last year, didn't do anything, didn't say anything. This year there was quite a bit, and there's probably a quarter, already a pile that's a quarter of the size out there again. So I know he's gonna be burning again. And just wanting to know what we can expect, or is, you don't have any jurisdiction on it, you just let it go. And so that's what I was asking about.
Is that something Lisa would have to
That's
address?
what we've said, when Lisa's
At least
back in town, we're gonna address it with her.
Oh, okay, I didn't know she was gone, I
No,
apologize.
you're fine, you're fine.
I was just like, okay, because again, after it was done, I was like, okay, well, you know what, it might not, but then all of a sudden they start appearing again. And I'm like, okay, I know this is gonna happen again, and I just worry about safety of people. We have a lot more traffic coming back in that cul-de-sac now that we have people with families and things, and I just, I don't appreciate it. There wasn't a big wind on that particular day. There was some, but not a big wind. And he was out there the whole time that it was there. It was just,
Not necessary.
didn't seem necessary. Now we've got a big soot pile right in the middle of the cul-de-sac. So.
Okay.
I appreciate you checking with Lisa.
Thank you, Julie.
Did he have any comments, Rich?
No, he just wondered if it's legal or not. I said, well, it's a road. Not everybody can put the trees on the road and start a fire, so,
They can call the sheriff next time.
no.
Well, and
Yeah.
again, I'm trying. I'm really trying to just let things kind of go. But when it's very, obvious that it shouldn't be,
Yeah.
people just don't burn in the road.
Yeah.
And most normal people haul it out. They figure out a way to get it out of there. And so I wanted to at least make you guys aware of that, because I didn't know if anybody else would make a comment. Probably not, because everybody tries to stay clear.
Thank you.
So,
The rest of
Thanks
your
for-
entertainment for tonight was free.
Yeah. And I'm not, I get communication. I totally understand how lack of communication creates that going on.
Yeah.
And, but I'm not, as residents of the township, we all have a responsibility to figure out how to get the right information, and I felt bad that there were so many people here. He did a wonderful job of
Yeah, he did.
handling it.
He did.
Mike did a great job of just saying, this is where it's at, and you guys, again, thank you.
So
Thanks,
I went to the bond board meeting and stuff in there, and just a couple of things that they had. There was quite a bit of discussion on paperless billing, the pay vendors, and the kind of the, like everything is going to paperless. A lot of the stuff is sent by, email, the invoices and stuff are sent by email. And we talked about that quite a bit. We don't really necessarily have the issue here, because I get them emailed and then I put them in Dropbox, Dropbox for audit, but we talked about it for quite a while because they had another township that had a fraud and different things on there. And so that was real pretty interesting and stuff. And I think they were real glad that they had me on the conversation, because I'm a little bit vocal on it about how they're doing it and what they do for fraud, because there's actually a lot of, right now, check washing and putting people on different accounts. Who was telling me that Jamel got hit and stuff in there, but there has been a lot more that, especially for like, accounts that they know don't look at them very much, like, you know, like some of, like your Farm Bureau accounts, like some of your nonprofits and stuff in there. So the same way with like your fire department one, you know, you gotta watch it and stuff in there. We also talked quite a bit about that, RAIF fund, that rural infrastructure fund, the one that we did to opt out to do that and stuff in there. What are we kind of setting on the bridge? Was we trying to get that ready to try to go in for that, or remember we talked about it that we were gonna get an engineer out?
Oh, Lisa was supposed to get a name for you, wasn't she?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is anything happen? Because I think we had to have it in here for this next year here pretty soon. They were talking here, some of the discussions was for us for the South Dakota Association of Towns and Township is that, you know, they give some of this money to the counties and stuff in there, and if it's not used, what happens with the money if it's not used, you know, because, you know, they had the legislation, give the money, put it out there, and if they didn't do the bridge, you know, do they pull it back, or do they give it to townships or whatever? So we were talking more of the high level portion, but for our portion, I think we need to kind of figure out what we want to do with that. Get a contracted bridge, because we do want to go for that RAIF funds. And we just have to make sure that we get it in there to get the process done.
Is next meeting okay if we get an engineer, if she has the name of an engineer?
Well, we probably should, like I said, we should just kind of decide. Didn't we decide that we was gonna just DGR or something like that, or?
Yeah.
But we need to get going on it. I don't know if we missed the deadline and stuff in there, but it was 3.5 hour meeting and stuff in there, and I was like, what, by the time it was there, but I wasn't happy about sitting through some of it, because a lot of it is about water drainage and stuff like that, but there was still some pretty good stuff discussed here today.
Okay.
But that was the highlights that reminded me that we have to do the rating of funds.
We got a dozen bills: Ashko, Bargain Barn, Boyce Law, Bruggeman, City of Sioux Falls, Dakota Seal, JW Diesel, LG Everest, Lyle Signs, Manifold Farms, Midwest Oil, Running Supply, Stan Houston, Virgil Stenlin website, Quabog Insurance, for a total of $164,067.03.
So what do we do about Aspen? Because he basically suggested tonight to pull some money back from that. Did you?
That's a total bill?
That's a total bill.
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Total bill, and, you know, if you direct me, you can go back and I can hold 10%. We've had really good luck with them. The last time with Pine Lake Hills, you know.
But he thought it would show.
I'm not worried about them.
No,
It's just to the other people that we are,
like that
not
we're
just
doing
trying to
something.
check and let it go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you know, the other deal is that they just sent me the bill. I called them to send me the bill, so it's to discuss at this meeting. But I can hold the bill for a couple of weeks here. Wait at least until after Thursday, Friday, and something. Because it's not going to be late, because they wouldn't, like I said, they wouldn't have been on this meeting. It would have been on the next meeting if I wouldn't have been proactive.
Probably just helps with the whole situation to pull it.
I can't see how they get it done by Thursday, Friday. Not if we get the input from everybody that lives at Hidden Valley and Iverson.
So what I'll do, this is what I would suggest, is just, we'll just hold it. I'll hold the check for a couple of weeks here, and then we can, you know, we just kind of talk it over in there, and if we want to, you know, reduce it a little bit or what, but
withhold some, yeah.
in there. I will send the one for, we don't have, they said they did a nice job in the seal coat. It's basically the same place for that Dakota seal, you know, that one, so they'll have, you know, at least that portion of the money and then go in there. I don't know, just whatever you guys, I'm not opposed to, you know, ripping that up and putting a retainage under and send it to them, but, to me, I would just hold the whole thing there.
Why don't we make a motion to pay the bills and to hold the check and have a little bit more discussion with Travis after tonight, let him sleep on the night.
Yeah.
You know, and if he wants us to hold 20,000 or something, maybe we can.
Well,
He kind of set it on a notion of showing good faith.
Yeah.
But let's let him sleep on it tonight and give him a breather. Tomorrow's only Wednesday. That's my suggestion.
Well, yeah, we'll just say it was, what is the date today, the 11th?
Yeah.
Let's say like by the 20th, the 20th was, let's have a quick discussion on it and either release it or switch it.
Well, no matter what we do, if we discuss with Travis once more, I think that's in our best interest.
So Kevin, just say till the 20th.
What's that?
I should put that in minutes too,
Yeah,
so the public knows what we're doing. So Todd made the motion.
I'll second.
Pay the bills, except ASCO
Except-
till the 20th with further discussion with Travis.
Okay,
Bud made a motion.
Yeah.
Looking for a second.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to pay the bills as discussed. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Not hearing any opposition, motion will carry.
Okay.
We can move for a motion for adjournment.
Yeah, and the only thing is, like I said, I'd like somebody to talk to him about the tires one, just, it's silly that we take all the other stuff out there and then they didn't charge
I'll
us.
phone World.
It's just silly for a $17 check.
I make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
what time is it?
9:15. 13:15.